Don't blink, it's your blink. Welcome to our show. Hope you're doing well because I'm having a wonderful 25th June 2005. Let's get some coffee in me. Delicious cafe, right? World renowned coffee, I guess. Today we're talking about how important the system is and how addicted the system is. We are, sorry. That's why I need the coffee. Your boy's a bit tired. This morning something happened and it was really bad. What happened? What that was really bad? Well, pretty simple. Um, a chopstick. I'm gonna be using this as a mixing apparatus, I guess. So I was filming, right? And I swear to God, this is the first time in years that this happened to me. So what happened exactly was we were filming some video like right now. Like if you were looking at my phone right now, you see that we're playing the Tower, which is one of my favorite games, and we're filming, right? Now, the Tower in itself. So why is the system? I guess what we have to talk about before anything is what is a system? The system we used to work, right? That's what I mean by system. However, as we go further in this videos, which I didn't plan, we're gonna get into what is really the system, right? Because it's more than just the way we work. So what prone this video, what made me want to do this video is simply the fact that right now what we're gonna do, because I'm in a rush, I'm behind schedule, so we're gonna be taking clips that we did. I'm gonna be uploading them, and hopefully this is gonna go well, right? What happened exactly was I was really tired this morning. I was really tired. I swear to God, I did the recording, but it doesn't show up. It doesn't show that it was an error, and it doesn't show that your recording stopped. Usually it will show that your recording stopped, right? Which is kind of crazy. So we lost 2 hours and 40 of the Tower. Now, technically speaking, the Tower is my favorite game. So what is the Tower? The Tower is this, and also this, right? It's a game that we play with 3 different devices, right? Did I have a breakthrough this morning? No, this morning was just grinding. Right now it's just grinding, right? It didn't really matter if I lost the 2 hours and a half. And I know it's crazy to say, but you know, here's okay. If I lost 2 hours and 40, like that, how do I know? Well, because I activated both of them at the same time, and this is 2 hours 40, so this should be 2 hours and 40. So yeah. Why does it matter? It doesn't matter. The most important part are videos like this, right? Because that every single video is different. Now, the craziest thing is that in the Tower, I got 1,000 hours of the Tower. So even if I'm missing a couple of hours, it's not a big deal, right? Here's why it's a big deal. Here's why I was freaking out. Because this morning, sunrise was amazing, first of all. For the next 4 days, there's no sunrise. There's no sunrise at all. So this is a bit of a problem because you kind of want this sunrise, don't you? But it was more than that. See, this wasn't planned, right? So at first, it started last winter. Because, okay, so here's what happened. It started last winter when we really wanted to try for a system. So last summer, I started making a lot of videos, and I mean a lot of videos. We were making upward of 15, 20 videos a day, which is unbelievable. Now, was the quality good? Not really. I say it with bravado, as they say in French. Does it matter? Not really. My goal is to make content. My goal is not to be the best content creator out there, right? I'm okay with being an average content creator. I'm okay with that. That's the role, yeah. What we're doing now, we're taking clips from Twitch and we're uploading them on both YouTube and on TikTok. Careful, right, baby? So fucking good. So this summer I did a lot. Now, in October of last year, I had a depression, a burnout, if you will, and it made me question. Okay, so we cannot do as much content as we used to do. So how can we make it so we have kind of a good time, right? Now, what I'm gonna do is those pistachios are unsalted. I love pistachio, but I don't like them unsalted. So I'm gonna take out all of the pistachio out of the shells, I'm gonna be adding some spice to it. It's gonna be adobo spice. So I was in and I was like, okay, well, you know, I don't really have I don't really have a lot to do at home. You see, this is the problem. We always put the pistachio there. I did some because the phone was too hot. I don't know why. My brain is wired to put them there. So with not being able to do much, I became kind of worried about it. Again, a workaholic that doesn't work is a recovering workaholic. I'm not in recovery. I wanna work hard. I wanna work hard. I wanna work out. It's a point of pride for me, you know. It's something I'm really happy about. So I was like, okay, well, what can I do? So I started playing games that are AFK online. AFK. So a little bit of push, a little bit of pressing button here and there. Once you press the button, you're good, right? One of those games was Don't You Go Break the Chain. Don't You Go Break the Chain was an amazing game. However, they kind of gave up on it. Like, okay, well, back to square one. Now, last year, I lost my job. And by losing my job, my boss retired, which is beautiful because I like that guy. So I'm happy for him, you know. So I lose the job that I had. Like, okay, well, this is my chance, right? This is my chance. Now, here's the craziest part. So the system, again, oh fuck, what happened? Nothing happened. We just didn't charge it. It's okay. It happens. So, but at work, I was still having this mentality of I need to work on content creation. See, my dream is content creation, right? So it's not like, oh well, you know, this job is important. This 9 to 5 is important to me. It was more about my dream. Like, how can I do it? And then I started being obsessed, and I was always on my phone. So my boss was like, hey, you're not out of the phone, leave it in the office. I don't trust you. I'm like, fuck this. This really hurts my feeling, but he's the boss. If he wants to, he wants to. Now, what happened is I started looking for a game that could play FK. The game came up was The Tower, which is the game we're playing right now. And The Tower, the great thing is I can have 5, 6, 7 hours without touching this thing, right? And then I was like, holy shit, instead of playing. So, oh my god. Last year I lose my job, and because I lose my job, I do 3 playthrough. I'm like, yeah, 1 playthrough is boring. Let's do 3 playthrough. We do 1 playthrough that is normal, 1 playthrough that is shield, and 1 playthrough that is sword, which is defensive, offensive. Right? And then last year, I'm noticing that I have a hard time retaining subscriber. And what I realized is the mistake that I made. And it was a very simple mistake. I was treating this channel as my main channel. So half of the video were normal, half of the video were gaming. The people that were coming for gaming didn't care about me. And the people that came in for me didn't care about the gaming. So we started to do a video for the gaming channel. The video for the gaming channel kind of became really hard because I was like, okay, well, I kind of do 50-50. The craziest thing is we had this problem yesterday because yesterday was my French heritage holiday, which was really cool, by the way, really cool. And we're gonna make a video about that also. It was just so much fun. It was just so much fun. And I was put in a position where it's hard because I'm like, I miss speaking French, but yesterday I did a stream, I did a TikTok live, and out of the 15 people that came, 13 people were English, you know? I'm like, fuck, you know? So it's a bit of bad news. But at the same time, does it really matter? Not really. Because content is content, no matter the language, it's it. So then, because I actually played through, I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna put this here, I'm gonna put this here, and I'm gonna put this here. Whenever I make content, I'm playing The Tower. But then it became so much more than that. So we created this system, subconsciously, but still created this system. And the system was, I don't really need, on paper, I don't really need to focus a lot on the gaming channel, on The Tower. The Tower being the game that it is, it's actually pretty, how can I say that? It's actually pretty, like, boring, because there's no narrative, and it's only grinding, it's grinding, it's grinding. It's like, you take a game that, think the game that you're grinding the most. right? And then trying to talk about it for 8 hours with nobody else. It's basically talking to myself for 8 hours. So I do content, right? And the content I do, arguably not great, it's still content, right? So yeah, so it's kind of crazy. Give me a sec. I have to do a little bit of something. Okay. Logging in with the QR code. Okay. Anyway, the phone is too hot, so that is perfect. Yeah, the phone is too hot because the sun is coming in. So this morning I was freaking out because I lost 2 hours. Why did I matter this much? Because, again, the tower is kind of the perfect game. Because it's the gaming channel. When I'm filming those videos, you see me talking. So, because I'm filming those videos, like, hey, this is kind of cool. Because, first of all, I can hear him talking. Second of all, okay, there you go. Confirm login. Okay, good. There you go. It's the gaming channel. Shut the fuck up. I hate TikTok because it's always so loud. But I need TikTok because I produce a lot of content. So yeah, so it was kind of crazy that it happened. Because subconsciously speaking, I was like, holy shit, I'm playing the tower 6 hours a day, and 4 of those hours I'm talking, right? So it's a great content, it's a great segue, it's a great bridge between the two channels, right? So this morning I was pissed because I wasn't gonna get the sunrise, but I wasn't gonna get the content, right? And I was really pissed. And then, like I said, it shouldn't matter that much because we made content. We've been making content for 4 years. So even if I lose one video, it's not that big of a deal, right? So why did it bother me so much? Because we're slaves to the system, right? You're 9 to 5. You're 9 to 5. It's tough to say, but we're so ingrained into a system. We're so taught about the system. So the first system that you find in life is what? The school system. You're right. Right? Some people will say the family system, but the family system is too diverse. So why am I talking about it like that? Well, because technically speaking, you would have a system that is kind of akin, right? Most people, a majority of people, even if it's 61%, I don't care. They're gonna have a similar or somewhat similar experience in school, right? No matter where they're from, they're gonna have a where you sit on a desk. There's a teacher in the front of the class, right? And there's a textbook, and you have stuff to learn. Doesn't matter what stuff you learn; it's still the same process of learning shit, right? So you're in a system, and then the system prepares you for the system of work. And they tell you, hey, this is important because you need to work. And they tell you this is important because it's gonna get money in the future, and money is the root of life. If you don't get money, you can't survive, right? So this is what's happened to the system. The system is, again, it's, well, preparing yourself for the rest of your life. That's why you see people on retirement. They have such a hard time. They're so bored because their whole life was spent following a system. Now they're getting freedom. See? And with the freedom, they don't know what to do. So now we're talking about something else. We're talking about 3 things, actually. A brain shackles where you're stuck in a routine that you have to follow, otherwise it's weird. We're talking about financial shackle where you're told that if you don't work, you're not going to be able to survive. And you're stuck into a time shackle where even though you have 24 hours a day and it's going so fast, when you have a day off, you don't even know what to do. You know when you lose your job? I'm sure it happened to every single person watching this video. The first 2 weeks, you're like, oh my god, it's gonna be a nice vacation. And if you're lucky, a month passes by and you're still, oh my god, what a nice vacation. But then you're like, okay, well, I'm kind of bored, right? And there's a phenomenon which is the gray head. So the gray head is a bunch of people from the retirement that start off work. Most of these are gonna do a temporary job, right? And they'll say, oh, it's for money. But the money they make, for example, right? Somebody that has no income will make a certain amount of money, and then they'll say, well, if you do this income, right, they're gonna take away from that money. Let's say the government gives you $100 per week, let's say per week, and you work a couple of days that week. They say, well, let's take your pay and let's we're gonna take it out of your 100 because you're allowed to have 100 per week, right? Now you have more. It's a great thing, but you lose some. I'm not sure if most people that are retired, that are taking a retirement fund, make less money with the job or make that much. I'm not sure if it's worth it. That's what I'm trying to say. My dad often talks about how bored he is, right? My mom, who is 67, is still working. Doesn't need to work, but she wants to work, you know? So, there's a system engraved. But now, with the freedom that content creation gave me, it was crazy because I was like, this system this morning kind of fucked me over. Not in a way of I'm not able to watch what I'm doing, not in the way of I'm not able to enjoy what I'm doing. See, as weird as to say, I'm gonna say it's super weird, right? I'm watching this show. I was watching this show, Trailer Park Boys, which is, if you know me, you know that's one of my favorite shows. And there is this very, very, very good moment. There's this character who's an alcoholic. And what you're saying, oh, don't talk about that. It makes me uncomfortable. He's an alcoholic. And there's other character that's an alcoholic also. Now, the difference between those two is one of them is a functioning alcoholic, the other one is a non-functioning alcoholic. So then, at the end, the non-functioning alcoholic realized that if he maintains a balance, he can do most of the things that he's supposed to do. Right? He says, and I quote, I'm sober enough to know what I'm doing, and I'm drunk enough to really enjoy what I'm doing. And to me, it was almost like a wake-up call, because yes, it's a system of drinking, and I don't drink, but it's also a system of belief, right? I have a job, right, and that job is 40 hours a week, right? And I'm like, well, as long as it's 40 hours a week, I still have all of those time off, right? And that job, well, I'm working 8 hours a day, but I still have 8 hours to relax, and I still have 8 hours to sleep, right? Technically speaking, 24 hours in a day, it will make sense, right? Technically not. Why? Now, here's the important part. Here's the interesting part. It doesn't really work like that, because whenever you have to do something, you take away from that relaxation period. You take away from that time where you were supposed to relax, which is supposed to be a blessing, right? You're taking away from that time. You're like, oh, you know what? I'm going to do X, Y, Z. Again, what is X, Y, Z? It doesn't really matter what X, Y, Z is, as long as you're able to have enjoyable time, right? But what if that X, Y, Z became, there you go, something you had to do? Oh, well, the kid, they have to go to school. Or the kid, they have soccer practice. The kids, they have musical practice. The kid has rehearsal, right? I have to take them there. If you tell your boss, not on my time, you're gonna say, oh, not on my time, right? There's a system of, on your time, you can do whatever the fuck you want. But now you don't have 8 hours, right? And you know that if you sacrifice sleep too much, there's gonna be consequences. At the same time, people are gonna say, why are you complaining? You have 16 hours per day, right? Because, dude, out of those 16 hours, how many hours can I do what I want? So what's the plan? To lower your work rate? No, because then you'll become lazy. Then you'll have less money. And because you have less money, you'll have freedom. See, there's 3 types of freedom. Mental freedom, time freedom, and financial freedom. Then we just talk about 3 types of shackles. 3 types of freedom, right? Kind of weird when you think about it, right? Now, helicopter. For some reason, I like the sound of helicopters. It's crazy. When you really think about it, it's crazy because you're embracing those shackles. They're normal to you, right? When you go to work, right, and your baby, your human baby, some of them will say your cats or your dog will also do that. They'll get sad and say, hey, stay. And you say, well, I want to stay, but I have to go work because I need to put food on the table. Kid doesn't understand that. Kid doesn't know what the fuck you're talking about. He doesn't have a single clue what you're talking about. Right? However, this is really important. This is really, really, really important. Why? Because of a couple of reasons. There you go. How many kids do we have? Download? I didn't check. Because you tell him, I have to work. Hopefully thinking that the kid will think that it's normal to work. Right? We're part of the system. And without a system, the society fails. So talk about this, how we're all like a beehive. And we all are bees worker, right? We need janitor, we need people to pick up the trash, we need a plumber, we need electrician, we need all type of work people in the world, right? You'll see abandoned building, and the first thing you'll see is the nature taking over, right? And you'll see how quickly it's gonna become like a abandoned house. You're gonna see the effect of time, right? We're looking at post-apocalyptic. We're looking at Last of Us. Nature will take over. Nature used to be taking over, but as human beings, we're like, no way. I want us to be the king of this world. So where am I going with this? Because it's a bit confusing, right? I thought that by making content, I was my own boss, right? That by making content, I had this freedom, right? This financial freedom. I got money in the bank. We're good. We're not good for a long time though. This time freedom. Well, even if I worked, I'm enjoying myself. So instead of working 8 hours a day, I can work 16 hours a day. I can take a break. I'm my own boss. This is time freedom, right? So then you realize I don't have shackles. That create myself shackles because I'm forcing myself to do all those work, right? Here I am with 5 playthrough, 5 things filming. Here I am with doing clips, making pistachios, right? All this for what? All this because no matter what, I'm a victim of the system. It was taught to me when I was a young kid, the system. It was taught to me in school that the system is taking over. Not taking over, but the system is predominant, right? And all of these cases are system. You cannot avoid the system. I thought about 3 shackles, right? What I didn't mention is the mental shackles. The mental shackles are the most present. They're the strongest of the shackles. So what are the mental shackles? Well, that's super easy. The mental shackles are the fact that if I don't follow a system, doesn't matter what it is, I'm not comfortable. If I don't follow a system, no matter what it is, this feels weird to me. The new normal to me as becoming following some type of system, A, B, or C. And this is where this is fucking you over. It's not fucking you over because you have belief that if I follow this system, everything will go well. Because it's ingrained in you, right? And this is the most beautiful part. You'll see in dictatorship, what they'll do is, they'll dictatorship the parents. Now the parents will have the belief, and the belief will be transferred to the students and to the kids, and then the kids will transfer the belief to their kids. And then you don't realize that you don't remember that these were dictatorship. You don't remember the hard time. Communism was a period where you were encouraged to have a lot of children, and the system as kids of communism was a normal system. So those people grew up and they still want the communism. People that have followed communism at a very young age will want communism because this is normal to them, and they don't know capitalism, they don't know socialism, right? And they will follow us. Imagine if I'm telling you you're from America, you're from Canada. If I tell you tomorrow, fuck capitalistic, we're doing communism, a bunch of people wouldn't know what to do, right? It's a system that is taught to you, not by the government, not by the oppression, but by people that you love, with your parents, right? Or about your friends, your neighbors, your city. This is where it gets crazy. The first generation will suffer a righteous push. So okay, well, you have to follow these rules, and if you don't follow these rules, I'll get you, right? And then the second will be like, well, this is normal. And the third, you don't even need to control them because it's ingrained in their mind. I talk about French Canadian a lot, and farmers, right? And it's a lot of work, right? They had freedom that we don't have. When is the last time one of your ancestors of your generation, your father, your grandma, your grandparents, had a job or didn't have a job. Now, why is that important? It's because, well, I don't have time anymore. I'm at 5% batteries. But it's important. Think about it. When was the last time one of your family member, one of your ancestor had freedom? You're enslaved. But for you, it's normal because your parents were enslaved, and your grandparents were enslaved, and your great grandparents were enslaved. The system of enslavement is a normal process, and we are victim of it. Is that a good thing? I think so. I think so. I think so. I really think so. Now, I know what you're saying. How can enslavement be a positive thing? Well, it's kind of complex. But take sheeps, right? Take sheeps. Sheep will follow a shepherd, right? And they'll follow a shepherd, and you can say that the shepherd's enslaving the sheep, and you'd be right. However, if the sheep aren't following the shepherd, they'll get lost. If the sheep are not in the farm, they have no mode of defense. They'll get killed by predator. Understand that. Understand that. This system possibly is there to protect us. Who knows? Who knows?